All right, so it's astrology time, and today is Wednesday, the 26th of August. So here we go. Moon is in Aquarius. It's going to be there not quite all day long because it's going to go void of course very quickly at 5:59 in the evening, okay? So we've got ourselves, a little bit of time, and then it's going to be there, void of course, for roughly 21 hours. Oh, happiness, right? The moon in Aquarius opposes Jupiter, and that's going to provide us with some good vibrations, kind of like the last chance for our beach days here in the northeast of the United States. Just maybe, could be. Now, today's also good for social interaction and community activities. Innovation, it's going to take you pretty far. So this is in marked contrast to yesterday's, and I need to tell you that when Uranus is involved, look, you can expect any outcome. You need to expect any outcome, good or bad. It just doesn't play that way. It's always unexpected. So, we can hope for the best, but more often than not, Uranus will deliver a blow that we didn't quite see coming. Now, how we deal with it, that determines what we are, right? All of these things that I talk about are kind of like relative to your own chart, because we're talking about general trends and stuff like that. If you know your chart, you look at some of these positions and planets and stuff like that, you'd be able to make a better determination for yourself as to where it's at, and that's where we're going with this. And, as we do this every day, we want to get better and better at it. So go ahead and ask those questions, put them in the comments, do whatever you have to do to increase your knowledge of what it is that I'm talking about and how that applies to you. And the best way you can learn that is by learning your own chart. So that being said, look, can't let yesterday pass without mentioning let yesterday go without mentioning the passing of Dolly Parton. Truly an icon, and truly, sorely, a person that was needed on this earth. Rest in peace, Dolly. Now, those Uranus things, right? Didn't see it coming. Now, it doesn't quite change the nature of the elements that are involved when you're talking about these kind of things, particularly with Uranus involved, or maybe even Sedna that we discussed yesterday. However, look, you got to just know that that it just is. The results can be quite shocking if it wasn't what you were expecting, because Uranus is electricity anyway, so it is shocking. And sometimes, even if it's positively aspected, there might be a little silver lining in there. You just don't know, right? You won't know until it finally plays out. Today we have another mostly beneficial aspect with Saturn. That's a little sextile, right? The moon and Saturn. Initial tension caused by a technical glitch, that could possibly be resolved, hopefully in a positive manner, because we have Venus in harmonious aspect with the moon. So at least we can hope so. And today's keyword is social. So let's talk about our color. Our color is kind of like, you ever get a new fridge or something that has that bluish film on it that's over the stainless steel? Yeah, that color. The steel and the blue film together. I like that. Now, Virgo reasoning. Let's talk about that because it's going to kick in high gear today. The drive to get better, healthier, and more aligned with what we want for our future abundance to look like will combine with the clear, concise way that Mercury operates in Virgo. There's a danger of overthinking here. There always is, right? Especially with Virgo. But I really think that we're going to have to shut that part down if we're to take action. So in other words, Mars being in Cancer, it's more intuitively aligned, right? The opposite, Virgo, which is Pisces, right? So I think that some of that action, that little bit of reliance on intuition before we act, would be enough to keep us from overthinking, hopefully. It's a check valve, right? It's like, okay, we're not going to do that. Now, think about this. Whatever it is you're going to do, get it done early today, okay? Because, we really want to make sure, take an early stand, stake out a position, and, and wrap up what it is you need to do. Because once that moon goes void, of course, you don't want to really begin anything new or anything like that. We're going to be just putting together the tables and charts and things that we need to do, right? Actions, they're coming from a more intuitive place that will render the overthinking useless. So get it done, put it out of your mind, move on to something else. Don't overthink it. Do something about it. best advice I can give you. We can really use the moon's energy in Aquarius. Remember that aloofness in the early spring when we were talking about that first eclipse that occurred in Aquarius? Yeah, we had to make sure we were being our true selves and not just conforming to what was expected of us. Circumstances may have put us on a slower track as far as achieving our goals may be concerned. Environmental things that are out of our control, right? Economic, socioeconomic, put it that way. Geopolitical stuff, right? Now, they may have, by holding back, and by holding us back, we're a little bit behind. By holding back, we allow ourselves a certain amount of top-down objectivity, which is exactly what we're going to need if we're going to reconcile the return of our ability to data crunch with our ability to innately sense where our deductive reasoning needs to be applied. Kind of like Batman. I am Batman. The eclipse in Virgo will highlight this kind of focus that will be needed. It isn't about beginnings, okay? It's not about beginnings. And it's about culminations. It's about the repair of this Virgo season, right? That's what it's really about. It's not about beginnings. It's about that culmination. The culmination of what we're doing and how we're going to be able to utilize our intuition a lot better with some of the data that we're acquiring. And we kind of had a little disconnect with that before because we were kind of just going, oh, let's do this. We were kind of ping-ponging along. Now it's got to be a little bit more deliberate because there's some stronger headwinds that we're heading into. And you just need to know that. I mean, we're free. We need to be free, but we need to be free on our own terms. And that's really what we're looking for. So, look, it isn't about beginning so much as is a portal for utilizing our mind, better utilizing our mind, body, and spirit in a way that will help foment some badly needed change throughout the world. Long-term, slow-burning, and social to a certain extent. Think about it. That's really what we're looking forward to with this eclipse season as it moves along, right? As we move along, we're going to be moving towards that. So we're at a point where an epiphany is due. Ponder mysteries and share any insight gained with us here. All of us. Just do it. If you have something, let me know. Creative folks, look, you're going to need to create. Nothing fancy, however, that would involve overthinking. Don't do that. Don't tip your hand. Plan on laying it out in stages. We're progressing here, right, as a progression. So, in 1682, the English astronomer Edmund Halley first observes the comet, Halley's Comet, that was named after him. And our birth is in 1882. It's this person by the name of James Franck. James Franck. He's a German-American physicist, and he won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1925. He's born in Hamburg, Germany, and he died in 1964. He won the Nobel Prize with Gustav Hertz, the guy who was the sound waves are named after, for their discovery of the laws governing the impact of an electron upon an atom. And that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Our color is the blue film that protects stainless steel, with the stainless steel included. And our keyword today is social. So today's a 5. Happy astrocatting.